There we go.
Okay. Hey, technology is awesome, right?
All right, you look nice today. You got your pink headset on. Okay.
Yes, yes, everything's going with
All
pink.
right, that is sweet. All right, so we're here today. We're here today, and we're going to be talking about intentions. It sounds like, right?
Yes,
All right, and you don't watch sports, do you?
I do watch sports a little bit.
Okay. Do you follow in the playoffs or no? NBA.
Depends if I find myself in a bar.
Ah.
So if I'm around somebody that likes sports, sounds like you like sports, and we were hanging out together and you were like, Raquel, we have to watch this. I'm like, cool, and get into it and everything. Otherwise, I just do other stuff.
Okay. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay. I think I just figured out what happened as far as our sound technology. But that's for our viewers. Viewers, you should be excited about it. And if it works, we now know what the issue is. And we apologize for you not hearing everything that Raquel had to say last week. I think we figured it out. Now, the reason why I was asking you about the NBA playoffs is because I just finished watching the press conference. As you know, the Wizards just lost last night. And yeah, in my silver dollar ebook, I was talking about intentions, which is what you were talking about. And you know what? All the Wizards just kept saying, the two key players, which is John Wall and also the Beal guy, right? All they kept saying is that all they wanted to do was to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you ever study, that's all they wanted to do. So they got there and they didn't get to the next level. Now you got somebody, these little things, right, Raquel? And I know you can relate to this. So you have champions.
That's so big.
It is. Now you have champions. What champions say is we're going to the championship from the top of the organization all the way down. From the top of the organization, I'm talking about the owner, the general manager, the cheerleaders, everybody, the fans, everybody says we're getting to the championship. We're going to the champ. They say it from during training season, they're saying. During preseason, they're saying it. When they lose this year and get out the playoffs, they're saying we're going to the championship this year. But here you have the Washington Wizards. Yeah, they had a great season. An amazing. I wanted them to win last night. Had I known their mentality was they just wanted to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I would have told everybody that I knew that the Celtics were going to win. That is what we're talking about. Well, that's my take on intentions, right? Intentions. What are you intending to do? You got to paint it first. What you ask for is what you going to get. What you train and program your mind to do, that's what you're going to get ultimately. What do you got to talk to us about, Raquel? Let's go.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, listen, if they said all they wanted to do was get to the Eastern Conference, they did it. They put it in their mind. That was it. Once they did it, they were done. And here's the thing, they could have actually made the shift. Once they got to the Eastern Conference, right? They could have said, now we want to go to the next level. We're going to win the championship. But they never adjusted what they said. Because when you set a goal, it's okay to set a goal that is like your milestone goal. And what I mean by milestone goal is a goal that's like, hey, if I have a goal to, let's say, win the championship. Well, the first thing is I have to win my division. And then after I win the division, I got to win the conference. Then I have to win the conference. I got to go and win the playoffs. So, like, it's steps along the way. So you do have to set those milestone goals. But as soon as you set that goal and you achieve it, like as soon as you get to the conference, then you got to be like, hey, this is really happening. I'm here because I want to go to the championship and start changing your language because that is the final goal.
Yeah, I can agree with you 100%, man. Just to see them, and they said it so confidently. And I blame some of that on the coaching, right? How do you really program someone to only go halfway? I mean, it's a full season. The object is to win the championship. That's what we play for. So I guess a great place to start when we're talking about intentions is, I don't know. Where should we start with intentions? Are we going to show people how they don't have intentions, or should we show people on why they should have intentions?
Well, we should show people why they should have intentions, and we can show them if they don't have intentions, why the things that they say in their life that they want, they're not getting. So we could start off by saying, if there's something that you want in your life and you're not getting it, it's because you haven't really set the intention. And setting the intention is having that burning hot desire. The book, the original Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about that, is like putting it in your mind every day, putting it in your mind before you go to sleep, putting it in your mind when you wake up in the morning, periodically reminding yourself what you're working for. Like an athlete, they train not just an hour a day. They train by themselves. They train with the team. They have more than one coach. They have a bunch of coaches, and everybody's in line. That's the mastermind. So you have to be like laser focused on what you're shooting for. So that is putting out the attention. So if there's something that you say that you want and you're not getting it, it's because you say you want it and then you don't do anything about it. You don't think about it. You don't move towards it. So then it doesn't happen. So that's why it doesn't happen. So that's what happens when you don't set intentions. What do you think about that?
I think that's really big, and I'm trying to think of myself, right? And the reason why I don't feel comfortable, when there's a point where you don't feel good about saying your intentions and what it is. Like I'm near the age of 40, right? And for men, there's this procedure that we have to get done health-wise where they gotta put something in your booty, right? They gotta put something in your booty, and I forget what it's called. It's got like a check for cancer, right? But
colonoscopy.
okay, there you go. So the colonoscopy. Now you ask me right now, and for the past few years, I've been thinking about like, I don't want to do that. You hear comedians talking about, once they turn 40, they got to get dragged to do it, right? So I don't want to do it, nor is it a thing that I want to talk to people about. It's not one of those things where I'm saying, hey, I can't wait till I'm 40 to do this prostate cancer deal. No, it's gonna be something where it's gonna be very quiet. It's not gonna be this big announcement. It's just gonna be like I'm gonna just slide into the doctor's office. I'm gonna get this done, and then I can move on with my life. I say all of that to say there are things that we don't feel comfortable talking and saying it to other people, right? Whether the intentions is like John Wall and Beal to win a championship. Maybe the culture in that atmosphere is that they don't think that people believe that they can go to the championship. Therefore, they say, you know what? Let's take the pressure off of ourselves and the whole team, and let's just say we're going to go almost all the way. Maybe that'll make believers in everybody else. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I will say, you have your intentions. It's very important that you share it with other people. Definitely.
Right. And share it with people who that's going to be in line. It's kind of funny that you brought that up because somebody who I highly respect as a mentor, they went to a health, wellness, natural facility. And it is actually known if you're doing natural healing, that enemas are very healing, and this facility does that. So they actually went on FB Live and they talked about, they didn't want to do the enema, but they were there and that's what they do, and that they did it. And, they said it was an experience, right? But they said it makes you feel better, and it's important to take care of yourself health-wise, because everything that's like your foundation. Like if you woke up today and you don't feel well, you're not going to be able to do anything today. And all of your intentions should be focused on getting better. A lot of times if people don't feel well, they'll post on Facebook, my current situation, and you see them in the hospital with an IV in their arm. They don't say anything else that's going on. And then they rack up all these comments, and I'm like, okay, if you're going to put yourself out there, say, hey, doctor said I'm going to be out in a couple days. It's just like, this is temporary, or this is really serious. Regardless of what, please pray for me. Regardless if it's just a short visit or it's going to be a long journey. But people know that when they're in the hospital, they don't want to be there. So they post it on Facebook and they're like, help. And then they get everybody to say, hey, well wishes, we're praying for you. And that's putting your intentions out there. That people already know what to do when they really want something. And when you're sick, the first thing you want, and you just can't stop thinking about it, is to get better.
Have you ever had an intention and it didn't work out? Because I'm looking at the definition here, just a random definition online. It says intention is a thing intended, an aim, or a plan. Goal, intention, intent, purpose, all refer to a wish that one means to carry out. Intention is the general word, and they use it in a sentence. His intention is good. Have you ever had an intention? Because all it is an aim or a plan, right? Have you ever had an intention that didn't work out?
Well, yes, but you have to say, okay, well, it didn't work out that way, and then you keep going, and then sometimes, like, in the early part of this year, I started something, and then I realized that who I was in line with, they weren't really on my level as far as integrity and things that I wanted to do. And I had to really sit back and look and say, well, I know if I really want this, I could push. And I says, but you know what? This isn't something that I really, truly, honestly want. So I walked away from it. Initially, I had an intention to succeed, but the people that I had aligned myself with, they weren't on the same page as me. And I was like, okay. And if they were on the same page as me, I definitely would have still been doing it. But it caused me to really take a look at it and said, wow, I knew the road was going to be hard. But if I'm the one of the three who's, doing what I say I'm going to do and functioning a level of integrity, and the others aren't, then I don't want to be involved. And like you said, share your intentions with people. But if you're around the wrong people, it ruins everything. What do you say, Billionaire?
Yeah, I believe that's really key, Raquel. And in fact, I remember, I think it was last week or the week before on the show, you were talking about that one friend that you actually went to. What was it for? You went to that one friend you shared with us. You went to that one friend, and then you were talking to us about how it was important that you had to trust this person. It was important that you gave this person permission to open up. So as we're talking about your circle and being careful who you share your intentions with, I think it would be a great time to just remind everybody to go back to the show before and listen to how you explain that whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
You do have to have trust in your circle. You do.
You do. You have to have trust in your circle. Get rid of the haters. Yeah. And it's funny because I had a friend come into town the other night, and I haven't seen them in 20 plus years. And we were catching up. And there's a lot of people that I don't communicate with that used to be a part of my daily life. And I was explaining to them, those people that I don't communicate with, they don't have the same intentions as me. So it's not in my best benefit to do the things, because I'm here to help me and others who want similar to get to where we're going. It's a waste of my time to be around somebody who doesn't want those things. And then it messes up my goals.
Absolutely. And I wanted to also bring up the intentions. I think you have to be aware of your own capacity and your limitations as well, your strengths and your weaknesses when you're putting together your intentions. It's interesting. I just was having a conversation with one of my business partners the other day, and we were talking about kind of like intentions, right? I'm telling them, like, yeah, my intentions is to be, the greatest communicator that right? When you think of the world being more accepting to personal development, it's more comfortable, it's more easy on the ears. I want people to think of me. And then as we were talking, I was going through my whole timeline of how I started doing radio on that show that we met at. I was doing that for 5 years, 5 days straight, right? My intentions were still the same. I want to be the greatest communicator that most people know. So we did all that. We did that for 5 years. I took about 3 years off from doing that, and now I'm back into the radio again, podcasting, television, video, all of these things. And we started talking about the creation and the origination of the product, the cleaning product 409. And as we all know, right, the product 409, it came about because it was the 409th time that they tried little theories and things like that. It was 408 mistakes. And on the 409th one, it was the cleaning product that they wanted. I said, wow, 409, that's pretty cool. But that's not really what I'm like, because I already failed 409 times. Then we started thinking about, well, a guy named Thomas Edison. He failed on paper. A lot of us know that he's failed maybe 10,000 times trying to create that one thing. Say, you know what? I'm not really the 409 type. My story is not going to be where I just failed a few times and then I just made it really big. I said my thing is going to probably be like more like a Thomas Edison. I think that's really important for us to really understand and to think for ourselves. Like, how are we going to do it? Are we going to be the lottery maker that just works on something one time for our whole life? We're just working on this one thing and then eventually it just blasts off? Or are we going to be like the 409 where it takes us a little bit more times to succeed? Or is it going to be like a Thomas Edison? So there's category, but you got to know that for yourself. You have to know that, because when you know that, it makes your intentions clearer. What was you going to say, Raquel?
Well, here's something interesting. So last week when I was flying, sometimes I will sit and I watch a movie. And that's my time to like catch up on movies. That's my movie time, right? And there was a movie, when I first saw that it was coming out, I knew right off the bat I wanted to see it. I'm going to tell everybody, you need to watch this movie because it talks about intentions. And the movie is Founders. Did you watch it? Have you seen the movie?
Yeah. Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, Michael Keaton. So here's the thing, right? The movie, Michael Keaton plays Roy Kroc, right? And everybody knows McDonald's and Roy Kroc, but they might not really kind of know the other two brothers, because the other brothers, Roy Kroc wasn't even related to them. They had created McDonald's. And Roy Kroc was the one that had the vision. And the reason why Roy Kroc had the vision is because he was out there daily on his grind. And his grind was a small grind, like, hey, I just need to sell some milkshake machines so I could keep a roof over my family's head, which, and it was just him and his wife. And he would go out. So he wasn't spending time with his wife. He would go out and milkshake machines. And this wasn't the first time he had went after something, but his end goal was to make money to support himself. And he wasn't doing well. And then he ended up looking at the McDonald's because they ordered 8 milkshake machines. And he just, first of all, he thought it was a mistake. Who's ordering 8 milkshake machines? And he had a plan for the day, but then he realized, whoever's ordering 8 milkshake machines, I got to go see them. And he went, and then he saw this amazing place that was delivering burgers in seconds, and nothing he's never seen like this before, because fast food wasn't around back then. And he saw a really big vision. And it wasn't that he was going to just sell them the 8 milkshake machines. He wanted to partner with them. He had a vision that was way bigger than their vision. They just wanted to deliver burgers to people in a fast manner and make people happy. That was it. And it was okay if they did it in one location. But Roy Kroc seen that as huge and took their goal to the next level. And here's the interesting part. I knew that the foundation of the story, that Roy Kroc came along and met the people that were running McDonald's and said, hey, let's do a franchise. But I didn't know about all the problems that came about. And when you are sometimes working with people, there'll be situations where you don't fall in line, but doesn't necessarily mean that you don't continue to do business. But then there is sometimes where you don't fall in line and you move on. So Roy Kroc moved on and ended up doing the business because his vision wasn't really their vision. And they were the stop on his vision. And when you're watching the movie, like, he's taking McDonald's to this ultimate level, and then he would call them up and they would like kibosh things. He was like, no, we're not doing that. And it would frustrate him because he's seen it on such a big level. And it was a great movie because you see the problems that they had from even the very point when they were introducing fast food, because people were like, no, I want plates. I don't want to sit down and eat something on the go out of a paper bag. So initially they weren't doing well, and this was all before Roy Kroc came along, and they said, well, what can we do? And then just about when they were about to quit, it caught on, and people loved what they were delivering. But people have to understand that sometimes when you're delivering a great product or service, or have a great business plan, you have to believe all out that your business plan, your product, your service is the bomb, even if the rest of the world doesn't know about it. And as long as you're very focused on that, you keep figuring out how to deliver it to the people and how to get what you're looking for, it will happen. But that's part of putting out your intentions. And Roy Kroc was truly the McDonald's. He had a vision, because it wasn't to sell a bunch of milkshake machines. His vision was to make millions of dollars. That's what his vision was. He wanted to go big. He was looking for a way to go big. So it wasn't milkshake machines. It wasn't anything he did before that. When he saw that, and when it was crazy, because in the movie, he's pushing McDonald's, and people are like, I recognize you. You had something else you were doing before. And he's like, yeah. And then they brought up his failures. And you have to understand, when you're doing something, some people are going to be like, yeah, I saw you fall flat on your face and you got mud on your face. Matter of fact, you don't look too great right now. And you have to stay really rooted in your intentions. And that's what he did. So I want people to watch the movie to see the power of intention, watch the movie to see it doesn't work out perfectly, and to see the fact that they pushed through, and it was a focus literally of Roy Kroc going out every day to expand McDonald's to now being $1 billion sold.
Yeah, and just to add on to that movie, Founder, everybody definitely does need to go check it out. When we're talking about intentions, as you just heard everything Raquel just shared, you can see it's not just having intentions, right? If Ray Kroc just had intentions, it wouldn't be what it was. Because some people will say, oh, I'm intending to do it, and they want a round of applause for intending to do it, but you still have to take risks. Right? You still have to take risks. You still have to fall flat on your face. And like they say, success is really just going from failure to failure without losing any enthusiasm. Right? And that's how I feel like when Ray Kroc did that day. There was, before the fish sandwich was about, you know what the fish sandwich was originally?
No. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so the fish sandwich was originally, thank goodness to Ray Kroc, the fish sandwich was originally a pineapple sandwich. And but it's supposed to be like, I said ill too, but it's supposed to be really good. It's like pineapple and cheese or something and bread. So it's like pineapple, cheese, and bread or something like that, but it has pineapple. It's a pineapple sandwich. And what happened was, long story short, they gave a day. They said, Ray Kroc said, you know what? You guys think this is going to do good? All right, let's try it. I believe that this is going to be better. This pineapple thing is going to be better. You believe that this fish sandwich is going to be better. All right, let's do this. We're going to take one day, and we're just going to see what sells more. And whatever sells more this one day, this is going to be the new product that we're going to launch. If you look on the McDonald's menu, there's no pineapple sandwich any longer. It is the fish fillet sandwich. But it all happened because of his intentions. He was willing. So many people are so set on their intentions, Raquel, that they don't even look for another option or another way of doing it. They say, all right, no, these are my intentions. I got to stand strong on it. So, and to add on to your comments about this Ray Kroc's intentions, is he had to release his ego and say, you know what? If y'all think this is going to work, let's see what the numbers say. Let's see what the numbers say. Let's have a day of sales and let the people decide which one is better. Is it the fish sandwich or is it the pineapple sandwich, which we originally had? And to its credit, the fish sandwich still lives even today. So you got to still take your risk, even though you have your intentions. Don't stop at just setting your intentions. Still take those risks. And still listen to what the market is saying. Don't be so caught up in your intentions that that's all you have is your intentions, because you'll fall flat on your face and you'll never get back up again.
Right, correct. So I have a close friend / business partner, and they were going after a goal. And it's interesting because I actually believe that the reason why they had this pineapple fish sandwich conversation is, when do you see the fish sandwich getting advertised? You see it getting advertised around the season of Lent, Easter, because Friday, multiple Fridays in a row, you cannot eat meat. And what does McDonald's sell? Meat. So I'm sure during that time they were like, why are our sales dropping? Oh my gosh, because the most of people are celebrating Easter and they're not eating meat on Friday. We need to have an answer for that. And Roy Crockbuster came up with the pineapple sandwich, and somebody else came up with the fish sandwich. And if you want to know when they're going to advertise the fish sandwich, it is always, you know, March and April. They start talking about, hey, McDonald's sells the fillet of fish. And that's the only time they really advertise the fish sandwich, because they don't want you to stop coming there.
That's good.
Yeah. And so you have to look at, like, there's a story behind the story of why the pineapple and fish sandwich came to battle, because it would be the pineapple sandwich. And I love pineapple, but I don't think I'd like a pineapple sandwich. So, and it's funny because I was just talking to my friend, and we met at the gym, and they have an intention, and shout out to her. I'm not going to say who she is. And she had shared her goals with me. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, how did you do? Because it was her first week. And she was like, well, I decided that I wasn't going to go to the group, and because it's just uncomfortable. So I didn't go. And I just looked it up online. And I was like, so you're not doing it, right? And, and it was funny because I knew personally that I can't help her reach her goal, but I could help put her in contact with people who could help her reach her goal. And her answer to me was, well, they made me feel uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, so you're off the goal track. Interesting. What about all these things that you said to me that you wanted to achieve? And it's about accountability. I can be a great accountability person. And I told her that uncomfortable is not a reason. If you're hanging out with people that are doing it and you're not doing it, haha, guess what, people? You're going to be uncomfortable. If you're hanging out with a bunch of millionaires, not the billionaire, you're going to be uncomfortable. If you're hanging out with a bunch of like physically fit people and you're a little chunky monkey, you're going to be uncomfortable. If you're hanging out with people who are like doctorates and masters in business, and you like to sit around on your couch and be a couch potato, you're going to be uncomfortable. Guess what? Taking yourself to the next level is putting your uncomfortable in check and saying, hey, what I'm supposed to be is uncomfortable when I want to take myself to the next level.
Yeah, that's so key. Uncomfortability when you're talking about intentions. And again, it just goes back to, you have to have more. The lady's talking about she's uncomfortable. Well, listen, making money is complete. If you ain't making money, when you get into an environment of people that are making money, it's going to sound a little foreign to you. They may say words that you're not expecting, or they may not say words. They may not talk as much as you think that people who make money talk. There's different things. It's going to be different. Losing weight, listen, it's going to be uncomfortable. People who have intentions to be fit communicate. They breathe different. They talk different. They think different. So it's going to be uncomfortable. Don't get so stuck in your intentions. I'm telling you, it's really, really a bad direction for you to go. Don't be so set in your intentions. I guess another good thing that we can do is, what if you're not in an environment where intentions are priority, like of any importance? What are some things that we can do? There's somebody watching the show, they're like, oh, well, I don't have any point of reference to getting any intentions. I've never even heard the word intentions. Like, what are some flags that we can put up for people, some checkpoints on these intentions?
Well, here's the first thing. Consistently, they need to pick up a copy of watch it on YouTube. You could probably find a free PDF of it. Because when you read that book, you realize that America was built on intentions. A lot of things that we enjoy today was built on intention. We're on Facebook Live, and that started off in a Harvard dorm room for somebody who failed and didn't get their degree from Harvard. But see, the end game wasn't to get the degree at Harvard. They're now one of the richest people in the world. So you have to really understand like where your intention is leading you. So first of all, give yourself the ability to look outside of your current environment. That's going on YouTube and not looking at like World Star. Stop that.
Pornography. Stop that.
Yeah. Look for stuff that's going to empower you, to help you grow. Read books that's going to help to empower you and help you grow. And here's the funny thing, if your circle isn't doing those things, once you start to open that up, you will find that those things will fall in line. That's why I had suggested to my friend, here's a bunch of people that have achieved your goal as a rock star, and there's support for that. You want to plug into these people 3 times a week, and then share your success with me about it, because I'm super excited. And, because you can find the people that are doing the things that you want to do and get to where you want to go. So first thing is just start to like look and find those things. And before you go to sleep at night, give thanks for the day, close your eyes, and envision what you want. Envision how it looks. And just keep focusing on that until you drift off into sleep. Same thing when you wake up in the morning. Wake up. Sometimes when you wake up, you don't actually open up your eyes. Your eyes are still closed because you're like, hey, bring back that intention and say, I'm excited for the day. And this is what I want to happen for the day. And those 2 things will actually change your day. But it must be done every day.
Before bed, when you wake up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I want to talk to our entrepreneurs really quickly, business owners, about this same topic of intentions and what you can do to become better at your intentions. For one, you got to know your weaknesses and you got to know your own strengths. It's called self-awareness, right? You have to know your self-awareness. And I love the fact, because you were just talking about Facebook and what happened at Harvard. And they said that the first 50 people that actually bought into the idea are making a lot of money. Which brings me to the point to speak to some of you entrepreneurs who believe that you have to do everything for yourself. That's your intention. I'm going to be a self-made millionaire. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. Listen to me when I'm telling you guys. I meet entrepreneurs every single day. They hate sales. Their intention is they hate sales. So therefore, they're not going to do it. But you know what I say? You can hate sales, but it still has to get done. Right? So you're either going to figure out how you're going to master the art of making sales yourself, or you need to invest in someone else to make the sales for you. But the bottom line is the sales has to happen. We can go for the same exact thing with an assistant, right? What are your intentions? Are your intentions to have an assistant, or is your intention to have something or someone do what an assistant does? And if your intention is to have things getting done, don't just settle for an assistant that could just come to your office or something like that. Consider other alternatives like a virtual assistant. They call it VAs, virtual assistant. You may not like the idea of it, but listen to me when I'm telling you guys, the work still has to get done. So set your intentions, know what your weaknesses are, know what your strengths are, and don't be afraid to get more people to pile in, right? If you're a great singer, but your music can't get out there, but maybe your writing sucks. If your stuff isn't penetrating, maybe your writing sucks. maybe you can still be the great singer that you are, but maybe you can have some writers come in like a Beyonce does, right? Beyonce doesn't write all of her music, right? She brings in writers, she brings in producers, right? She brings in PRs and stuff like that. She's not doing everything by herself. So when you, yeah, she has a team. When you're going for intentions, don't be so caught up in yourself that you block off the opportunity to work with other people. It's all about your intentions. What you got, Raquel?
Well, here's the thing. We are near to winding down, so I want to actually bring up the fact that next week we're going to talk about selling. Because so many people, because you said that you have to sell, and people are like, well, I don't like to sell. I don't like to sell. They want their goal. Here's something that they don't realize. You have to sell everything. You sell yourself. Like, if you're not getting the things in life, you're not selling. And selling doesn't necessarily mean a product or a service. Selling is, hey, listen, you sell your significant other on having sex with you. Yeah. So let's talk about that next week. Because if you're not getting what you want, it's because you're not selling, and we'll talk about that next week. So that's going to be our topic next week.
And isn't when people say, I'm not good at sales, and they go in this 5-minute rant of how they're terrible at sales, isn't that a sales pitch?
Oh, it is a sales pitch. And they've brought the sales pitch. Yeah, they brought the sales pitch. And here's the interesting part. Back to intentions, right? Roy Kroc, when he had to talk to the brothers of McDonald's, he had to sell them on his vision. And when he first went to them, they were like, no, we tried to expand and it didn't work. So we're just happy with here because we want to keep the quality and the integrity of the product. And Roy Kroc was like, okay, I can figure that out. Because it's not just no, it doesn't work. It's how can I make it work? When I was having the conversation with my friend, I was like, okay, you shared with me your goals of why you want to go after this, but then you felt a little uncomfortable and you're kind of back. And this isn't the first time we've had the conversation. I said, so maybe you're not used to focusing on the pleasure of what you want. Maybe one can focus on the pain. Like, if you don't achieve your goal, right, then you don't get to fire your boss. You don't get to send your children to college. You don't get to go on that dream vacation. You don't get to meet the person of your dreams. And you focus on all the things that you don't get. That actually might empower you to go after what you really want and focus on, hey, I really have to get this, and I'm not negotiable on not having this because I'm going through pain right now. So some people focus on pain and some people focus on pleasure, but you have to figure out which one you are. So if you're one that focuses on pain, it's okay if you say, hey, I don't need to dream about the big house and the big car and, jet setting. You just want to focus on the fact that you hate waking up at 6:00 in the morning and you hate looking at your boss's ugly face. That could be the pain of looking at the boss's ugly face could be what you need for when you lay in bed at night. Like, I got to get this done so I can surround myself with beautiful people and be around my ugly boss.
You just gave me a new thing, the ugly boss's face. That's funny. That sounds like a little children's book. The little ugly boss's face. That sounds like a children's book.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Really quick on the ugly boss's face. When I was in corporate America, I had lost my father about 12 years ago. And I remember I had just finished taking a vacation. I always loved, the reason why I jet set now is because I've always loved to jet set. That was part of the intention. And now I jet set way more than I intended, but I love it. So I found this great vacation, and it was over Thanksgiving, and it was an 11-day cruise. Here were my problems. I just took off like 2 months prior for a vacation, and now I'm going to ask for another one. Second, children only get off for Thanksgiving like one day or 2 days, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. That's it. So I'm going to take the family away for 11 days. And then the other thing at the time of my life, it was money. Like I pay for the family trip now, but back then, me and my mother had to go in. You have to pay your way, Mom, and I'll pay me and my daughter's way. But I was not negotiable because I wanted that time with my family, because a year prior to that, I had lost my dad. And I knew how precious time was. And I was like, no. So I had asked my boss if I could have the time off. And you know what he said to me, Billionaire Brown?
What did he say?
Well, I could read on his face, like, this chick is away again. That's what I read on his face. And then
on his ugly little face.
On his ugly little face. And that ugly little face just pissed me off. And this is what he said. I have to think about it. And I was like, well, what is there to think about? And he's like, well, you know, we have work to do. I says, since I've come on the project, I've actually made the work easier. And we've actually, like, you know, far exceeded what you expected, because that's what I do. And he goes, well, I'll let you know in 2 weeks. I was like, no, I need to put the money down like today. And he was like, well, you could call them up every day for the next 2 weeks and tell them. And I looked at him and I was like, you ugly mofo. I was, and I thought to myself, I'm an adult. And here I am asking this mofo permission to take vacay. And he's telling me he needs to think about it. I was like, And that was like a light on for me. I'm never going to ask for permission to take vacation. I'm not going to ask for permission to go to lunch, go to the bathroom. So if you guys are living in that type of pain, stop it. Plain and simple, stop it. Set your intentions and get to a better place. And instead of saying, I'm going to call the travel agency once a day to beg them to keep the price locked in for me, I thought, okay, who's the mastermind of the ugly boss? And I went to his right hand and I said, hey, and I pitched her my story. I sold her on my story. And she didn't have an ugly face. She had a great heart. And she wasn't jealous. And she wasn't a hater. And I said, I need to have this vacation because I need to be with my family. This is going to mark a year that my father passed away. And I just want to be with my family. And I don't know how long I'm going to have my mother. 12 years later, I still have my mom. Yay! And happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And she told me, book the vacation. I'll work it out with him. And she wasn't the boss. So that was awesome. And I wanted to share that because that actually, the boss's ugly face.
The boss's ugly face.
Yeah. Because
I'm telling you, that should be a children's
really
book.
ugly. Yeah, the boss.
I'll think about it.
We can write a series of children's books for little entrepreneurs. The boss's ugly face.
Yeah, I really like that though. It has a ring to it. So I know you said we're going to wind down here. So I wanted to just remind everybody of the pineapple sandwich. The original fish sandwich was called a hulu or hula burger. That's what it was called, a hula burger. And it was pineapple, a slice of pineapple, it was a slice of cheese, and it was the bun. All right, so it's a hula burger. Now, as you were just saying this little boss's ugly little face, what I was thinking about was intentions, right? I'm thinking about intentions. And I'm pretty sure you've seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, right?
Oh, that's one of my favorites, yes.
Yeah, can't watch it enough, right? If it's on, you got to watch it, right? So Andy Dufresne, I remember there was a part in that movie where the character played by, what's his name, Morgan Freeman, was when he got him the little device where he dug his way, he got him a little thing, and he said if he wanted to do something and dig his way out of this, it would take like 80 years or 100 years if he really wanted to someone wanted to dig themselves out with this little thing that he had. Long story short.
Wait.
Yeah.
And he used Raquel to help him.
Wait, Raquel. What you mean he used Raquel to help him?
He had to hide what he was doing. He couldn't just dig. So
yes.
Amazing poster of Raquel Welch.
Wait, was her name really Raquel Welch?
Yes, she was a superstar of that era. So he would
Yeah, do you remember what you wanted to be when you were a little girl? You wanted to be a famous actress, and I'm just so mad that you just said, I never realized her name was Raquel Welch.
Yes.
That was a little fun fact. All right, so
fun fact.
he only took about 20-something years to get out of it. But if you remember in the movie, they said he would walk around like he wasn't sentenced to life. They said he just was walking around like nothing. The reason why he was able to be his normal self, even when he got them to work, right? Remember, he got them to work, and then he said, all right, well, can I just get my workers some beer? And all his friends, after they did the work, they was on the roof, and they was drinking the beer, and they was like, hey, Andy Dufresne, do you want some of this beer? And he was like, no, I don't want any. And he probably really did, but they said he just wanted to feel normal again. I can have a beer, but I'm not going to take one, even though I got it in jail. So I say all of that to say, when you know what your intentions are, nobody can knock you off of your square. You know what your intentions are. You know adversity is going to come. Remember success, right? Going from failure to failure without losing any enthusiasm. That's Andy Dufresne, right? He spent every day, he's just doing what he normally does, because he knows, like he said, he had that picture of Raquel Welch. He had that picture of Raquel Welch, and he knew every day he was digging away to get out of and find his freedom. So that's all I got. Listen, guys, check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. You're already on Facebook right now, but check Be Sharper Now out on Instagram. Her handle is at Be Sharper Now. That's BESHARPER now. And then you can also check me out, Billionaire Brown Online on Instagram. You could get us out of here if that's not everything, but thank you so much for, again, being here with us, Raquel.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Billionaire Brown. And I just want to put out the reminder to everybody. I have 2 things that I want you to do. Thing number 1 is find the book, find the circle of people to put yourself around so you can make that intention happen. And number 2, go to sleep thinking about that intention. Wake up thinking about that intention. And never, ever stop focusing on that intention until success.
We'll be back Tuesday, 8:00 a.m. Eastern Time, 5:00 p.m. Pacific Time.
Yes. At the Me to We Show with Raquel Sharper and Billionaire Brown. Have an amazing day.
Hey, Ma! I'm on TV!